Hi guys, Currency Games here with another video. Today we're going to go over a short we took that we got 2.6 R out of, and also our forecast for the ongoing, well, for tomorrow to be fair. Also we're going to, I had a few questions about time frame selection and sitting on your hands and what time frame you should trade off of, and I've got a few answers to those questions. But guys, we hit 80 subscribers. Thank you. We're soon almost at 100. Please like and subscribe, and yeah man, please enjoy the video. So Eurgbp, if you recall yesterday, we were discussing, let me get rid of the annotations, how we had broke down past this. Let me just go on to a new pair, we were discussing how we had our weekly raid in a premium area of price. Now when we hit a premium array, what are we going to aim for? Discount array. And what is our discount array we're aiming for in the week time frame? This fair value gap right here. Okay, price just bounces between PD arrays. Got to keep it as simple as that, right? In that range we have this high to this low. This PD array, which is the fair value gap, was in 60% of that level, so it's a decent level to be fair. Down to the daily time frame. Okay, daily had hit this weekly high here and broke down nicely, and yesterday we had closed below this low, which shows us we had a market structure shift in daily time frame, which shows we are looking for bearish prices. Now considering we had all those confluences, I was looking for shorts. Okay, and my target for overall shorts in daily time frame is this low, this fair value gap here. Okay, we don't have to catch this all in one trade, we don't have to hold it from here to there, but our bearish bias is until we pretty much hit this daily fair value gap, or until, or week fair value gap, or until we tag another daily a daily PD array that could be formed in this area, if that makes sense. Going out to the H12, here we had an order block here. Okay, H4. Now this is where it got tasty for us, to be fair. I was discussing this order block here, okay, which is that H4 block, and I was talking about how we could see prices return to it and possibly drop lower towards this fair value gap. Now, as I said, we don't need to see it go all the way to this fair value gap, because this is the H4 time frame move. All we need to do is see it attack these lows, and that's enough pips for us to have a very good day. Okay, going on to the H1, look how clean structure is. We're up to that order block, it's a H4 order block, but then my entry was off a refined area, which is this H1 order block here. It was this area here I used, or was it, I think it was on the 2 hour, no, it was that, yeah, it was this H1 area here. Tapped into it and we went bearish. But you see how many confidence we had for this area to hold. Now let's go back onto the actual pair here. Yeah, so it was this break zone here, order block there. You see how much confidence we had for this trade to hold. I didn't just blindly go in picking any order block. We had confluences from the weekly all the way to the H1. Now some people say, why did I not go down to the M5? Really and truly, I was looking at this area from last night in our YouTube video that we discussed. So when I came here 7 AM London session and I saw it retracing up to this level, I had already a set limit here, and when it hit at 10, I was just waiting for it to drop. Like I had a limit set from 7:30 at that level, so I didn't see the need to be sitting at the chart for so long when my bias is so strongly bearish at the moment. Like what's the point in sitting here looking for setups on the M5? I'm not saying you couldn't get a setup on the M5. There was lots of setups here on the M5. For example, if this was something, if you were an M5 trader, a lot of the time you could have looked at this zone here, this breaker zone, you could have gotten on. Okay, could have possibly had this zone here marked out after we tagged that H1 array. Like there's a lot of setups here, and possibly if I was in the mood to sit in front of the chart all day, I probably would have taken some of these setups here. But the main premise of the way I trade is these H1 and H4 PD arrays being in play or being drawn to. And the thing is about the M5, the M1, okay, there's no point being on the M1 and the M5 if you don't have a clear view of the H1 and H4. Okay, my view of the H1 here and H4 was so clear that I could just choose this order block and have confidence in it holding. The same way, now deep this for a second. If you're a trader that trades the M5 or M1, your highest probable trades will be when price tags a higher time frame PD array, whether that's H1, H4, and breaks market structure on that lower time frame. Okay, right? Now, let me draw it out for you so it makes more sense. Yeah, let's say this is the M5 here. Let me put this in a different color. This is the M5, okay, and the M5 is retracing up to a level, okay, simply retracing. Now we reach that level here, okay. Let's say this is a H1. Oh sugar. Let's say that is a H1 OB. So that's bugging me. I need spelling capitals. H1 OB. Okay. And we tag into this, and then we drop down on the M5. Sorry, let me just draw this diagram. Okay. We got our entry there, and we drop down. Now you can get entry on the M5 here, but the premise is this H1 order block. Okay, now what is the point in choosing a H1 order block as your premise if you don't have trust in it in the first place? Think about it. Don't get glued on the M5, and just because you see an M5 MSB in a H1 area, you think that the M5 is going to go bearish. Do you trust that H1 area? Does the H1 itself, does the H4 itself on that time frame look like it's going to go bearish or bullish? Is the structure on the H1, H4 daily time frame 10 is going to go bearish? When you choose that higher time frame PD array or the higher time frame structure, H1 plus 10 is going bearish. That's what you need to ask yourself. Just because we hit on the just because we hit a H1 order block on the M5 doesn't mean the M5 is going to go bearish, and that's where people get slapped out on the M5 because they're not paying enough attention to the H1. And this is a trap I fell into. I'm paying so much attention to the H1 and H4 to the M5, sorry, that I'm not actually analyzing correctly the H1 and H4. I'm not actually appreciating the structure on the H1 and H4. Okay, the reason why I was confident enough to just take it off this order block on the H1 and not wait for an M5 MSB is because I'm confident on structure on the H1 and H4. There was H1, H4 confluence, there was daily confluence, there was weekly confluence for this level to hold. It wasn't just H1 order block, M5 MSB, boom, there we go. There was confluences upon confluences on the higher time frames. Okay, it wasn't just the H1, the M5 hit area here, and the M5 broke structure. Okay, you're gonna get plenty and plenty of M5 MSBs in one trading day. Okay, the highest probable ones will happen when they're in high time frame areas, and the highest probable higher time frame areas are the ones that have the cleanest structure and have the cleanest higher time frame confluence to go along with it. Hence why I was confident enough to take it just off this order block here. Hence why I didn't need to drop down to the M5 for MSB, because I was confident on this level to hold. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Just because you have where's my thing on? Just because you have a H1 order block and an M5 retracement into it and a break of structure and a return to your breaker zone doesn't mean it's going to hold. Just because the M5 has broken structure, you need that time frame on the, you need that H1 and H4 structure to also be in alignment. You need this array you're trading off here, this high time frame array needs to be of some sort of significance. You need to have confidence behind the high time frame array. If that makes sense. But yeah, that's enough of that setup, to be fair. Now let me go into what I'm expecting for the rest of the week. Gonna get rid of this. Okay. Now on the daily time frame, as you can see, we've got a fair value gap here that we've created. Now it will be interesting to see if we could see a push into this area to continue bearishness, considering we might close as a raid of this H12 low, which will be very interesting to see come London session tomorrow. Okay. On the H4 again, this area here just seems like a very likely discount. So in all honesty, I would want to see a push into this fair value gap here possibly tomorrow, depending on if we close below this low on the higher time frames. Okay, so in all honesty, I'll need to see tomorrow London session and New York session how we trade, to know if we're gonna retrace back into this fair value gap. But if we get anything in this fair value gap, I'm going short, and we get the structure on H4 and H1 to align with that, I'm going short. Okay, and as simple as. But yeah, still short until we reach this fair value gap right at the moment. Euro USD, not much at the moment. It looks like we're kind of consolidating, to be fair. I was expecting more bearish prices, but it just looks like this fair value gap here is possibly holding quite strongly, quite well. So we just gotta keep a lookout for price to see what it's gonna do. I'm not too confident on longs or shorts as of right now, because as you can see, we're just kind of in a consolidation zone here. I want to see starting to break out, to be fair, before I do anything. The one area I will be looking at is this H1 order block here, considering that was where the previous daily raid took place. So we just got to see how we react off that. Okay, but I wouldn't be going short or long straight off this. I need to see some sort of confluence first. Okay, but that's all for today. I hope you have some insight into that trade, and good luck, and enjoy your weekend. Come in and like and subscribe, guys.